Think we're live. Hi, guys. This light is super flickery right now. I don't know why. It's completely plugged in. Anybody else seeing that? I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. Apologies if you can see it. I hope that's not upsetting to anybody to watch. Oh boy. Okay, it stopped for a second. Now it's back. Okay. Hi, guys. What's up? How's everybody? I am all right. Yeah, the little techno ghost, as I've started calling it, must be really acting up. Kidding. Hi, Laser. I'm just chilling out. We are doing... Let me get the book out. We're doing another Scooby Doo stream, like we talked about last night. Go to desk cam. This one is Scooby Doo and the Case of the Doughy Creature, which looks like fun. This looks like it's gonna be a fun one. I remember this one. I don't remember, like, anything about the actual mystery. I just remember this monster. I didn't really remember the other two super well. Probably because they didn't interest me that much as a small child, but anyway. Yep, that's what we're doing. We're chilling out. We're doing the things. And yeah. I feel better than I don't have like horrible allergies tonight, so I feel like I can actually read without having like a massive headache. So that's good. Apologies for living through my allergies. Oh, by the way, I have, because I've decided to make very poor life choices, I have drinking tonight a Coca-Cola and Sour Patch Kids. I think every time... Hi, Boots the cat. I think instead of playing a drinking game, I think every time they say the reusable word, I'm just gonna do a Sour Patch. Ooh! That one had extra sour on it. Hello, how is everybody? I'll go back to main camera for a minute, because we're not about to start. I mean, we are, but, like, not like this second. I love when I do things. I love when I press buttons and the buttons do the things that they're supposed to. I used to work in a movie theater. I had a friend who would let her Sour Patch Kids soak in Sprite before she would eat them. Wow, that's new. I haven't heard that one. I'm guilty of the fries and Frosties, and I'm guilty of the... Well, not really guilty of. My weird thing is I dunk Oreos with a fork, like, so that I don't have to get my fingers in near the milk, like your fingers don't get wet. But yeah. Sprite in the Sour Patch. I bet that makes it less sour, though, right? Because the sour dust soaks off, and then it's just sweet. And the sour part is the best part. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. She liked the texture, but thought they were too sour. Interesting. The sour is my favorite part. I love sour stuff. There's this, if anybody's had they're like jawbreaker type candies. They're called Toxic Waste. They are the most sour thing I have eaten in my entire life. They just taste chemical. Alright, cool. I thought for a second I had lost my feed, and I have not. Alright. Let's read this bad boy. Let's read the back of this for a second. Because I have questions. I mean, we read it last night, but just in case anybody wasn't here last night or is watching this on replay, hello, replay crew. Let's read this. Check out all the yummy treats at the French bakery La Grande Chienne. Oh gosh. Monsieur Pamplemousse? I probably said that very wrong, like I said it wrong last night. Sorry. Makes the best pastries, cookies, and cakes. Scooby and the gang couldn't be happier. Until the doughy creature appears. Now the customers are terrified and the bakery is in trouble. Find the clues and suspects and answer the gang's questions to see if you can solve the case of the Doughy creature. I will say Case of the Doughy creature isn't as flashy of a name as some of the other ones. Case of the Terrifying Pterodactyl, great name. Wrestler's Ghost, pretty good name. I feel like they could have done... I feel like they could have done better with this particular title, but that's just me. When was this published? 2000. These were all published, I think, between 2000 and 2002. Anybody want to go on a little learning adventure with me before we start reading? Able to find, like, a full, like, list breakdown, because I was going to read them in order, and then I couldn't find them, so I was like, we're just going to start with the one that's over here, and we're just going to work our way from left to right, because it doesn't matter. I'm looking it up real quick, because now my ADHD brain wants to know. Scoobypedia fandom, nice. Let's see. I'm trying to get this up on the screen so you guys can see. Come on, Scoobypedia. Oh, there we go. And I'm not seeing things here. Sorry, guys. Minor technical issues. But we're working it through. Hello. Yeah, so sour candies are actually... I'm better with sour stuff than I am with even, like, spicy stuff. I'm a real crybaby when it comes to sour. Or not sour, spicy. I'm great with sour. I'm a little bit... Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't... Okay. Let's do this. See what you're doing, Firefox? You're making me go to Microsoft Edge. Scoobypedia. Like, when you try to Google this, all you get back is it going, do you mean Scooby Doo, where are you? And it's like, nope, that's not what I mean, but thank you. See if this works. What happens if I do this? I'm like bargaining with my computer. There we go. Okay. So let's see. The trending pages. What is the order that this is in? All items. It says 28, but when you look through them, they're only listing 24 books. Sorry, we'll get to the actual book in just a second. I just was looking at something. This is the one that we're going to read tonight. I don't want to know anything other than... I thought it would tell me, like, what number it was in the series. Children's book. Huh. It just won't tell me. Okay. Sorry, guys. Hey, Paul. Hey, Omar. You know, as long as I can. How are you? How's chat? I'm good. I'm feeling better than I did last night. I'm glad you can be here. Thank you for hanging out. Wait, what about SpongeBob? Now I need to know. I never watched that much SpongeBob. It was like... not allowed to watch SpongeBob, but it wasn't my parents' favorite, so we only kind of watched it at our cousin's house. And so I think about my cousins when I think about SpongeBob. I love Spider-Man. I am a huge Marvel nerd, as is pretty obvious. Very, very obvious. And yeah, Spider-Man was the first like superhero I was really like interested in, and then it just like my Marvel nerdiness grew from there. Hey, Jay-Z. Yes, more mysteries. Who is my Spider-Man? So it's hard to say because I'm one of those people that's like, I think all the Spider-Men really brought something in their own way. My first one was Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield's movies weren't as good. Like, they were the weakest movies out of all of them, but he, I thought, was a good Spider-Man, and he never really got credit. I'm glad that he's having, like, a renaissance. And then I think Tom Holland is just adorable. He's like a proper high school, teenage Spider-Man. So, yeah, they're all different. So, I don't know. And then there's Miles Morales and all the other Spider-Men and women in Into the Spider-Verse too. So, well, that is fun. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here along for the Scooby Doo ride. I am very, very excited. For those of you just joining in, if you haven't seen the other one, WWE. I'm not into WWE. I don't know a lot about it. I'm playing SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. And it's one of the most fun games I've ever played. Glad you're feeling better. Cool. We talked about that, playing that on stream at some point. Me and Maddie, I think. Yeah, all those old games are great. Yeah, for anybody who hasn't been here for the last 2 reading streams, we are reading our way through the Scooby Doo and You Collect the Clues mysteries. They're children's books. They're obviously not very long. It's an interactive type of like kids grade school novel where it's like collect the clues and help the team solve the case, and it's actually pretty fun. And the story gets wild. We started off with the first one ended with a real pterodactylus being brought back to life. The second one was about all kinds of like corruption and like inside job crimes from like this wrestling ring. It was a lot. There was a kidnapping. People thought that you got kidnapped by ghosts. It was a lot. Oh yeah. Paolo is the wrestling genius. Sorry, I'm trying to get my neck to pop. It's like not working. Hey Jay, I'm good. How are you? iPhone 14 is out. I am admittedly not an iPhone gal. I am very, very much an Android user. So I actually didn't know, but that's cool. Very cool. Welcome, guys. Okay, cool. Right before I got on stream, like right before, I was walking in here with my drink and my snack. I have Sour Patch Kids. And, like, I was walking into the recording room, and as I'm walking in, I, like, almost lose my balance a little bit, and I start to, like, I'm like, oh no, I cannot spill this drink. It's gonna be, there's so many cords on the floor, like, it's just gonna be a big mess. So I, like, kind of caught myself, but, like, a few drops kind of went everywhere. So, like, right before I go on live, I'm, like, trying to, like, haphazardly clean up, like, soda, and I'm just like, this is a mess. This is a whole mess, but it's gonna be fun. Just a bit of PGSM. Yeah, site I found. Ooh, okay, camera, calm down. Calm down. There we go. So desk cam is, it can be a little bit of a diva, so we're working with it. But yeah, let's get going. We have Scooby Doo and You, Case of the Doughy Creature. I have no idea what number in the series this is. We're reading them surely all out of order, but this is the 3rd one that we've read. And so far we've got a perfect streak. We managed to solve the first 2 cases. I have faith in us because these are children's books and we are all adults who hopefully can solve it, but let's just see if we can keep our streak going. Still didn't say meddling kids and Scooby doesn't holler his name. The books are more unpredictable than the shows itself. I know, right? They keep close to so many tropes and then like disregard so many others. So I don't know. weird phase for the franchise, because this was a phase where this was right around the time What's New Scooby Doo was coming out. I don't know if they had started airing it yet, but it was definitely in the works at this point. And this was kind of like trying to rebrand Scooby Doo for the new millennium, and like trying to basically keep it from becoming one of those things that kids thought was lame, which I don't know how any kid could. I grew up with like my first Scooby Doo was the very, very original one, because I used to watch it on Boomerang. So, like, that one, I've always loved Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo is just a great kids show. It's just a great show. Unless they're kids who played the Ninja Turtle games, all those kids go to Smarty Pants schools. Yeah. Unless they're for the kids that play the Nancy Drew games, which are MIT graduate-bound children, apparently, as we've established. These seem like normal, like, okay, this is like a normal, you know, preteen could probably solve these, which is good. Costume and tech for the monster, I'm guessing. Right, before we do anything, let me check. Let me start a poll. Let's guess right away. What have we had so far? I guess we had tech, technically, in the first one with the pterodactylus coming to life. We had costume in last night's. Let's guess. Is this a costume? Is this tech? Or is it supernatural? Let's do a poll. This was also kind of in a weird holding period for the series, too, because this was right in between their jump from it's always a costumed capitalist person to sometimes it actually is a ghost. So I find that interesting, too. So let me start a poll. Let's do this. No, I don't want to end stream. I want to start a poll. Calm down. So let's see. What kind of case do we have here? What kind of case? Or let's say what kind of monster. That makes more sense. Do we have a costume? Do we have tech? Oops. I put exclamation points at a question mark, so it just said tech, not at like a question. Hey, Hayden. Yes. You see all of these up here? Can you guys see? Let me go to full cam just in case anybody can't see. I just saw a comment about reading Goosebumps. All of these Goosebumps are part of my Goosebumps collection. I guess it's kind of hard with the way the camera is angled to see it, but all of these, this whole shelf is Goosebumps, various types of Goosebumps. And there's also a big stack on top of the top of this bookshelf case that nobody can see. But yes, I have a lot of Goosebumps books, and I'm very excited to read them on stream. So yes, that's coming. Let's start our prediction poll. Ask the community. Hey, community, what kind of monster do you think we're dealing with? Yeah, I'm really excited to do Goosebumps, especially going into Halloween, but just all year round. Goosebumps are like that perfect kind of scary where it's like kind of scary, but kind of funny and just like really nostalgic. So I'm excited. I'm sure those will each need more than one stream per book, whereas these books we can read one per stream and it's kind of perfect. But other than that, yeah, should be just the same. So let's see. I wonder what the overused word will be that I'll have to take one of the Sour Patch gummies for. I guess we'll figure it out. Okay. It's like we are starting out with the gang at a Chinese restaurant. Chinese is like one of my favorite things in the world. I love Chinese food. Let's see. Are we ready to start? I feel bad because I'm always like really distractible and then I just like jump into it right away and I feel like that gives everybody like emotional whiplash. I don't want to close the poll. I just want it not to be in my way. Is that possible, OBS? Costume or tech for sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say, I'll probably say costume, just out of, I don't remember this, but it just feels like a costume case, you know? Okay, let's do this. I'm trying to see. There we go. All right. Hey, Random Archive. Halloween is coming up. Yes, perfect time to do some Halloween vids. Like Deborah. Also, hello, everyone. Hi. Yes, Deborah. Hopefully we can get to it by Halloween. I have not forgotten about Deborah. I was looking at your guys' channel, too, because you guys have a lot of really fun things. And I'm sure several videos can be made about a lot of stuff on there, but I was perusing. I very much appreciate your, what am I trying to say? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse collection. I found that very fun. During Legends of the Vampire and Maximum Monster Time, is the art style is the same as what's new. Yeah, this is very, I'm sure this was written to be kind of just extra promotion for What's New Scooby Doo. I'm not seeing any, I don't want to look in the back because I don't want to spoil myself, but I'm not seeing any like, hey, watch it on TV. So I'm feeling like this is probably just before, but all in that same branch. All right, let's get started. Since I've rambled for, I was going to say almost half an hour, but we all know I was a couple minutes late, so it's not quite that long. But let's start. We're starting off at Chan's Noodle House. Ooh. That looks really... I'm just looking at the food and getting hungry. Sure that this is doing that. Nice. Okay. My computer is like, system update. It's like, I did this already. Oh, thank you. We do our best to bring out the obscure, forgotten, and surprisingly lost media. No popular lost media, but we do have some pieces of it. I love it. Your guys' channel is so fun. It's a great resource for channels like mine, so I so appreciate you guys existing. Shoot, did I? It is. Hang on. I forgot to change the title of the book. Thank you for catching that, Cameron. It's not The Wrestler's Ghost. Case of the Doughy Creature. There we go. Thank you. I changed it to Help Its Evil Cookie Monster. I don't know how I missed that. Oh, well. Hey. Thank you, Cameron. Cameron's basically an honorary... oh, and Nightbot's here. Cameron, you're an honorary... what am I trying to say? Mod at this point. Yeah, I said Help Its Evil Cookie Monster, but then the second part is solving Scooby Doo, and it's supposed to be the case of the Doughy Creature, and it still said Wrestler's Ghost, which was an oversight on my part. My dreams have been fulfilled. Yay! We appreciate it as well and are happy to support you in any way we can. Thank you. Shag and Scoob indulging their munchies. Always, always. So yeah, let's get started, everybody. Scooby-Doo and you. I have a false memory of this being called a solve it yourself case, but that's obviously not what it is. It's a collect the clues mystery. Okay. Chan's Noodle House. Channel was about movies, TV, and video games. It's about nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. Books are content. And this is the kind of content that no one remembers. Truly. Nobody but me was talking about these at all, and so I found these on eBay, and I was like, now these are mine. And we're gonna do a thing with them. Do I have anything to play CDs? I'm sure I do. I'm sure I have CD players from back in the day. Going to be a tasty one. Number one, strange content. Yeah, these books are pretty strange and obscure, so... And I like reading streams. Anybody, I know a lot of you guys were here for I did 3 streams to get through the first Nancy Drew book. And we should read some more Nancy Drew books in the future, but I love these because they're so perfect for stream. Okay. Chan's Noodle House. I have that thing with like early 2000s media where I'm like, please, don't be an overly exaggerated, stereotypical portrayal of a Chinese restaurant. I'm sorry I have to think about that, but there's a lot of those stereotypes that have come up in things that we've covered. Anyway, okay. Man, am I glad to see you. Shaggy waves and grins as you walk in the Chinese restaurant. Oh yeah, for those of you who weren't here before, this is POV basically fan fiction. We're friends with Scooby and the gang, and they're here. They need our help with their mystery. I'm feeling it's a Shaggy and Scooby story. Maybe. First time on the channel. Hey, Hayden. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. We so appreciate you being here. Okay. Man, am I glad to see you. Shaggy waves and grins as you walk into the Chinese restaurant. He's sitting at a booth with Fred, Velma, Daphne, and Scooby. The place is decorated with a dragon motif. The walls and chairs are a deep red with gold trim. It feels cozy and it smells delicious. Shaggy hands you a menu as you pull out a chair and sit down. With you here, we can order even more dishes to share. Hey, do you like egg foo-young? Or maybe some fried rice? And they make a great chow mein here. Ooh, all that sounds good. I'm hungry now. I'm very hungry now. Shaggy, take it easy, Fred says. There'll be... I like this illustration. There'll be enough food for everyone. Egg rolls, insisted Scooby. Velma laughs. Yes, of course, we'll order egg rolls, Scooby. She turns to you. You'd think these two never ate in their lives. She shakes her head. I don't know how they could be hungry at all. They just finished gobbling up tons of pastries at the bakery where we solved our last mystery. Smooth. Rick rolls. Oh, God. Oh, it's gonna be my head. I love the smooth pivot of Velma. Well, they did eat all these pastries on the last thing that we solved. Rum, Scooby says. Why is the rum gone? Smiling and rubbing his tummy. Those eclairs were like the best, Shaggy closes his eyes and smiles happily, remembering. The cream puffs were excellent, too. Ooh, rookies, Scooby said. Too true, Scoob, Shaggy nods. The cookies were like the best ever. Personally, it'll be a while before I can face any more sweet treats, Daphne says, rolling her eyes. Daphne actually, for a second, I was like, are we not going to hear? They're stoners, Daphne. Yeah. Yes, he means yum yum. It's that Scooby thing where everything starts with an R. That was the best bakery I ever went to. Except for the doughy creature, Velma says with a shiver. Jinkies. I have the thing. Hang on. Jinkies! Yes. Okay. I lost my appetite when he was around. Good thing we solved the mystery and made sure he'll never show up again. Fred notices that you look interested. Want to hear more about the mystery and the bakery? Thank you, Fred. Fred is a sweetheart. It's all in our clue keeper. You can read through it and try to solve the mystery yourself. Ooh, I need to get my notes. We keep notes, because of course we do. That's right, Velma says, showing you the clue keeper. I kept the notes this time. Oh, Velma kept the notes this time. Okay. So far, Velma's kept the 2 notes and Fred's kept 1. I'm sure Shaggy and Scooby get to keep notes eventually, right? I kept notes this time. Luckily for you, since I have the best handwriting. Anyway, everything's in there. All the clues, all the suspects, everything. Daphne nods. You'll be able to tell when you're meeting a suspect because there will be spooky eyes there. I guess that's what it's formally called, spooky eyes. She opens the clue keeper and shows you spooky eyes. And when you see a flashlight, you'll know you found a clue. We'll even help you organize your thinking, Fred says, with a list of questions at the end of each clue keeper entry. Got a pencil? You can write down the answers in your own clue keeper. I'll go get the clue keeper in a second, Fred. Hang on. All the books always start at a restaurant. It always starts with us meeting up with our friends, the Scooby Doo and the Mystery Incorporated gang, Mystery Inc. gang, at a restaurant. Always. All the time. What was the first one? We had it was like a burger place. It was like the wrestling themed restaurant that we were at in the last night's book. And then what was in the Terrifying Pterodactyl? I can't remember. Ice cream shop. We were at an ice cream shop. That's it. Okay. You ready to get to work on solving the mystery? Wait, I thought that was being said to us. Sorry. You're ready to get to work on solving the mystery, but just then the food arrives. 5 waiters, each carrying a huge tray, start putting down platters and bowls until the pile of food nearly covers the table. Nice. Shaggy smiles contentedly. Mysteries are great, but food comes first. Like, let's dig in, he says. He grabs an egg roll and starts munching away. Scooby starts slurping noodles. You smile and shrug, reaching for the platter of chow mein. Ooh, chow mein is so good, though. It sounds like this mystery will take some thinking, and you might as well keep your strength up. They're always in it for the food and weed. Yeah, maybe they never take the notes, maybe. Maybe it's just the other three. I'm sure Daphne also takes notes. We'll have to see. Sure that by this point the gang has banned Scooby and Shaggy from being the note takers. Yeah. I feel like there's like one book where they take the notes and it goes like horribly wrong and they're like, okay, never again. Oh, there we go. Trying to move it because the way that I'm seeing this, the pole is like right in the way of seeing the thing. So I guess I can just view it from YouTube itself. Streaming problems. Oh well. Hang on, guys. I'm going to get my handy dandy notebook in a second. This area of Scooby Doo. Normally, Scooby Doo story starts with the introduction of today's villain and the gang in the Mystery Machine. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I need to look it up. I had friends that were doing a podcast they were going through every single episode of Scooby Doo one by one, and I want to cover like a ton more Scooby Doo because I think we've only done 3 Scooby Doo videos. Sorry guys. I'll be right back. I'm coming back. You're only going to be on share stream for like 2 seconds. Well, you can think about it like sour gummy and book stream for 2 seconds. Harry is also in the room, but she has decided not to grace us with her presence on camera yet. Let's write this. The case of the Doughy creature. Let's get started. I'm actually liking the books. They're not as formulaic as the shows like Mystery Incorporated. They're not as unpredictable. Yeah. We're not worthy of Perry's greatness. Don't let it get to her head. She already has a big ego. She's already a diva. Anyway. All right. Clue Keeper entry number 1. Wow, man, Shaggy said, surveying the cases full of treats. Like, this is great. He sniffed the air, appreciating the sweet smell of baking. Merci, said a short, round man. Dangerously close to an offensive way to describe that person. With a big, droopy black mustache. He was wearing a starched white jacket and a high, puffy white hat. I mean, thank you. I'm so glad you appreciate fine baking. He came around from behind the counter to greet us. So lovely to see you again, Mademoiselle Velma, he said, bending to kiss my hand. Monsieur... Oh, gosh. Pamplemousse. Okay, I can't... Every time I can't say it. Yes. French baker stereotypes. Here. Every time I struggle to say something French, most likely this guy's name, I'm gonna eat one of these. Paulo, no. I used to always hum to myself. You know the Winnie the Pooh thing where he's like, I am short, round, and I have found. I'll be like, no. I'm hungry. Sorry. Feel free to go get your unhealthy snack of choice. Mine's Sour Patch Kids tonight. Monsieur Pamplemousse is how I'm going to assume it said, is a real charmer. An incredible pastry chef, too. He is French, and his bakery, La Grande Chaîne, is the best. I'm probably also going to need to take one for that, too, but, you know, set it here for now. When I want a sweet treat, I always go there. My friends and I had just driven over in the mystery machine. We were looking for an afternoon snack, but we got more than we bargained for. Definitely trust fund kids. They're going to like a fancy bakery for just like a snack. Waffles. I mean, I had dinner. Now I'm just chilling. They're very... Remember how chewy they are. Sorry. I'm so glad you brought your friends. I'm not going to do the stereotypical French accent because I can't. And I don't want to. Monsieur Pamplemousse told me I can always use more business. The place did seem kind of empty. The last time I had been there, it was packed with customers, but this time we were just about the only ones there. You used to be so busy, I said. He nodded sadly. Not anymore, he answered. Now I'm afraid I may not be able to pay my rent much longer. I'm imagining this guy sounding like Lumiere when he talks. Names or we'll be watching you develop diabetes. Yeah, probably. But why? Fred began. Monsieur Pamplemousse raised his hands to stop the question. Never mind, he said. I don't want to talk about it. How about a nice treat? Let's forget our troubles with a pastry, shall we? I mean, he brought it up, to be fair. Shaggy's eyes lit up. So did Scooby. Roy, he said excitedly. I'd like one of those, and one of those, and like 4 of those, Shaggy said, pointing at the beautiful creations in the case. There were chocolate cookies and muffins and fruit tarts and pastries made of millions of layers of dough. A separate case held beautifully decorated cakes covered... Sorry, I got distracted. Beautiful decorated cakes covered with icing flowers in every color of the rainbow. Loaves of bread in all shapes and sizes filled the baskets on the high shelves behind the counter. Everything looked delicious. Monsieur Pamplemousse laughed. Slow down, he said, as he headed behind the counter to take our order. These pastries are made to be enjoyed slowly, one at a time. Shaggy looked disappointed. But they all look so good, he said. They are good, said a man who had just come in. He was looking into one of the suspect list cases. Much better than I can make. He shook his head. My name is Stanley Mason, and I'm a baker too. Suspect list! Oh no, Jay! I'm so sorry. You're only timed up for 5 seconds. I have no idea what happened. I just looked up and all of Jay's messages got deleted. Shaggy and Scooby getting told to slow down. LOL. I know, right? I have my own place down the street, but I've never been able to create pastries like these. If I could, I know I would be a rich man. He gazed longingly at a row of eclairs. I'd sure like one of those, he said, but I'm on a diet. He patted his stomach, which looked pretty flat to me. Then he caught Monsieur Pamplemousse's eye. Just a roll, please, he said. No butter. I think I'm keeping a tally. I'm gonna have to eat the Sour Patch at the break. I'll take a sip of my drink. Sure. Pamplemousse shook his head disapprovingly. What about one of these delicious walnut cookies? He asked, pointing to a tray of tempting treats. Maybe he's allergic, like I am. Stanley Mason frowned and shook his head. They look wonderful, but I'm allergic to nuts, see? I could get very sick if I ate anything with nuts in it. I'll just have the roll. Monsieur Pamplemousse shrugged. He pulled a roll out of a basket, brimming with bread, put it in a small bag, and handed it to Stanley Mason. He took the money Stanley Mason gave him and put it into the cash register. Then he turned back to Scooby and Shaggy, rubbing his hands. He didn't have any change? With delight. So, he said, what will it be? A Napoleon, perhaps? Or mousse tart? Roos? Scooby asked, looking alarmed. Mousse, Monsieur Pamplemousse replied. Not mousse. It's like pudding, only much, much better. Roos, Scooby agreed, nodding eagerly. Monsieur Pamplemousse smiled. Oh my god, what is that, 6 times? Reached into the case. Like, the mousse sounds good to me, too, Shaggy told the baker. And, Monsieur Pamplemousse smiled. I see you are looking at the lemon tarts, he said. A very wise choice. He added another mousse tart and 2 lemon tarts to the tray he was holding. And what can I get for the rest of you? Fred, Daphne, and I gazed into the case. It was hard to choose since everything looked so good. Monsieur Pamplemousse knows how to show off his pastries. They were arranged in neat rows in the clean, bright cases. The fruit tarts looked like little jewels, and the cookies made my mouth water. I chose the chocolate chip cookie. Fred picked a croissant. That's a buttery, flaky roll. I know, Velma. And Daphne went for an eclair, like the one Stanley Mason had wanted. Eclairs are so good. Monsieur Pamplemousse piled everything onto the tray. Wonderful, wonderful, he said. Why don't you take this over to one of the tables and enjoy your snack? He gestured towards the dining area of the bakery. We might just have to go back to making it a drinking game. But I will eat the Sour Patch Kids, at least until I eat all of my Sour Patch Kids. Where several small tables were positioned near a large, sunny window. Stanley Mason was sitting at one of them, taking bites out of his roll. I'll join you in a few minutes, after you've eaten. Perhaps you would enjoy a tour of the bakery. We'd love that, I exclaimed. He handed the tray to me. Well then, bon appetit, he smiled. That means happy eating. Like, I'm always happy when I'm eating, Shaggy said, following me closely as I carried the tray to a table. All right. Gotten to the first breaking point. Shaggy's mystery-solving tips. Why do they not get stomach aches from all the overeating? Strong iron stomachs. Yeah. Cartoon logic, I guess. Good for them. Can you believe the pastry shop? I've never seen so many yummy-looking things. Did you? In one place before. Anyway, did you catch the suspect eyes back on page 8? Great! That means you can probably answer these questions. What is the suspect's name? What does he do for a living? What would be his interest in shutting down Le Grand Chien? Shay? Is it... Am I not supposed to say the end? I'm probably saying it very wrong. Once you've answered, help yourself to a cookie or 2. Or Sour Patch Kids if you're me. Let's see... Mason. Stanley Mason. That was his name. Okay, I'm always forgetting the characters' names. All right. So, we've got our suspect 1. Yes, if you're new to the stream, I write everything down for effect. Suspect 1 is Stanley Mason. My handwriting is so cartoonishly big and takes up way more space than it needs to. Hey, Noah! The new video from forgot about the stream. No worries. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you being here. Wait. Delightful. Is that a doll making channel? I've never heard of them before. That sounds delightful. Doll-lightful. In my head it sounded like Stanley Hudson meatballs. Yes. Scooby Doo around the twist crossover. That would be fun. I could definitely see that being a thing. Okay, so his job is he is a rival baker. His motive potentially could be he wants to shut down the competition. Yes, she makes incredible customs. My favorite thing she's done are her Dragon Doll series and Evolution series. I'll have to check that out. That sounds so fascinating. I don't know anything about making dolls, but it sounds like it would be really calming to watch. Wants to shut down petition. And I'm just gonna say, I always add in like a chat note that's like, Just a bonus. We weren't asked, but I'm just giving opinion anyway. This poor pen. It's got ink in it. I don't know why it's not writing. Suspect 1 motive, capitalism and competition. Yes, so chat notes are capitalism, competition. And I'm gonna add for my own accord, he might just be hangry. Yeah, he's just eating dry rolls over there, not like eating normal, like regular food. Poor guy. He might just be doing all this out of hangryness. Been crocheting a lot of the Dragon Bunny. Oh, thank you so much. I can't. That is so sweet. That's so exciting. I got the tall and the tail and the butt done. I don't need a tad bigger. Actually plan to make the head using a Scooby Doo pattern I bought. Don't make it. If it's really a lot of work, don't feel like you have to. I don't want to make a ton of work, but that would be so cute. I'm excited if you finish it to see it. That'll be beautiful. You're the best. If I was able to, I'd make the borrower's adaptation that'd lift heavily from Ray mindset making Mysterious Island and Giant Monsters. That sounds cool. I love that. This on why he wants to shut it down, or just your typical capitalism. Oh, you think he's like mad because hates junk food? One of those. That could be. It feels like a very this series motive. Keep having to restart this to make sure it's running. I don't know why I have 2 running. I guess just in case one goes down, but it's a good series, Avery, fitting for spooky Halloween. Yes. I love Scooby Doo. Honestly, if this was just a Scooby Doo channel, I think we would be having fun for a long time. But we definitely need to cover more. What am I doing? I was looking at this, and I got distracted. I don't want to put this back on the shelf. Anybody else have ADHD, and then you just kind of get to that way where you're just like, I'm going to do a thing, and then halfway through your brain is just like, let's do a completely opposite thing. Make it so it's no trouble. Homemade Rachel Maskey a crochet doll for Vintage Scarlet Witch. I am so honored. And I'm so excited because it's going to be adorable. And honestly, the fact that the Dragon Bunny has not been made, to my knowledge at all, is a crime because that thing is adorable. Yours is going to be great. I can't wait. Okay, where are we? I think I answered all the questions, right? Okay. So capitalism, competition, possibly hangry, hates junk food, maybe. Let's move on to Clue Keeper entry 2. New Zealand stuff is underrated. Scooby Doo. I love it. I know I could count on Cameron to bring the puns. Can't believe no one made a pattern of it. I'm Frankensteining different patterns together and just making it up as I go from certain parts. That's insane. I would think there would at least be a pattern. It's an adorable little thing. Like, honestly, I'm shocked that they didn't try to think of an excuse to use the puppet again. The giant dragon bunny puppet. That thing is adorable. If I was the maker of that thing, I'd be like, can we use it for more than, like, 2 seconds in one thing from the 80s, please? Hold up chairs. Okay, Clue Keeper entry number 2. We pulled up chairs to one of the tables, and I unloaded our goodies from the tray. Then we all sat down to eat. You're lucky to have a baker like Monsieur Pamplemousse as a friend, Shaggy said to me, after he'd taken the first huge bite of lemon tart. I know, I said. Remember the birthday cake he made me last year? It had 5 different layers. Chocolate, vanilla, lemon, raspberry, and strawberry. Damn. And was decorated with huge pink roses. I don't understand why this place isn't... why this place isn't packed, Daphne said. I mean, this food is delicious. She licked her fingers. Eclair eating can be a messy business, and smiled contently. There's something weird about that, Fred agreed. I mean, who wouldn't want pastries like this? What could be keeping people away? Just then the little bell over the door rang as someone pushed it open. A tall man with wire-rimmed glasses walked in. He was carrying a briefcase, and he had a hopeful look on his face. Oh, yeah, and if you haven't seen, I think everybody's been here from the earlier ones. But we never suspect the first person that we meet because they're like the person who hires us / asks us to help. At least this time it makes sense because like this guy's business would be shutting down. I doubt that he would do it to himself, but the other 2 times it's like, why am I not suspicious of this person? I'm definitely suspicious of this person. Behind the counter, Monsieur Pamplemousse smiled. Bonjour, Monsieur Jameson. That isn't like a hard to pronounce name. It's just Jameson. I was on a roll for a second. What can I get for you? He asked. I'll have a cup of coffee, and do you have the apricot pastries today? Asked the man. Monsieur Pamplemousse shook his head a little sadly. No apricot pastries today, he said. Not for a while. The ingredients are just too expensive. But they're my favorite, said the man. Monsieur Pamplemousse shrugged. I'm sorry, he said. Can I offer you something else? Let me think about it, answered the man, looking over the pastries in case... over the pastries in the case. I'll be right back, said Monsieur Pamplemousse. I have some bread that must come out of the oven right now. He darted back into the kitchen. Shaggy gestured towards the customer. Hey, man, he said, I recommend the elk tarts. Elk? Asked the man. I mean moose, Shaggy said. This is me rolling. If you're just listening, this is me rolling my eyes. The man shook his head. I'm afraid that if I can't have my apricot tarts, I don't want anything, he said. I keep telling Monsieur Pamplemousse that if he won't make my tarts again, he'll be sorry. Am I really supposed to believe that this guy's gonna shut down a whole bakery because they ran out of his favorite thing? What do you mean? Fred asked. I happen to be the landlord of this bakery. I already don't trust him. He's a landlord. The man replied, my name's Ingo Jameson. I own lots of real estate in this area. Lately, Monsieur Pamplemousse can't always pay his rent. I have been forgiving, but if he has so few customers that he can't afford to make my tarts, I don't know how much longer I can put up with losing money on this space. I can rent it out just like that. He snapped his fingers. That wasn't a very good snap. Okay. To someone else who will pay me every month. I've warned him, but he won't listen. But, okay, I'll save my comments for the end. Maybe you can find something else you like to eat, I said, thinking that I would hate to see my friend lose his bakery. Rookie? Scooby offered hopefully. Guy looks very depressed about no apricot tarts. He thinks you might like a cookie, Shaggy translated. No, thanks. Mr. Jameson picked up his briefcase and the cup of coffee Monsieur Pamplemousse had poured him. If I can't have my apricot pastries, I don't want anything. He said that already. Annoyed, he walked over to sit at a table in the corner and drink his coffee. We just looked at each other and shrugged. He didn't know what he was missing. Well, that's interesting. Oh, I was just about to say, I'm sure there's a lot of very nice landlords. It's mostly just a joke because of, like, you know, a lot of people have bad landlords, but I'm sure you're a great landlord. Maybe he wants to ruin his own business for the insurance reasons? I mean, that's always possible, but apparently we're not supposed to suspect him because the suspect eyes aren't there. All the silver tarts. Yeah, if I find out that he's doing this all because of apricot tarts, I'm gonna be super salty about it. What's your go-to pastry, Paolo? Yeah, what is everybody's go-to pastry? Yeah. These aren't just, this isn't just like a normal, nice, like regular landlord. This is a landlord in a Scooby Doo book, which means he's a businessman, which means we don't trust him apparently, because that's how these books work. In real life, I have friends who are landlords. Yes. To clarify, obviously, I'm sure there are a lot of very nice landlords, but when you get a landlord in one of these books, it's like, oh boy, is it going to be one of those things where, like, the landlord is a shady businessman? That's always, like, the thing, the joke. You notice the suspect eyes on page 15. Good going. Pick up your pencil and answer some questions about the suspect. What is the suspect's name? What does he do for a living? Why would he be interested in shutting down the Grand Chez? These are my go-to. Go-to pastry, anything with chocolate in it. I said no offense taken, lol. I know about the nightmare ones. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the ones that are good at their job and do it are pretty annoyed by the nightmare ones ruining their rep. Okay, so what was... Wait, how is it that I can never remember any character's name ever? How is it every single time? Jameson. Ingo Jameson. Okay. The suspect 2 is Ingo Jameson. Jameson. Hocus Pocus book for my nieces, but I'm obsessed with it now. They can't have it. It's mine. Mine. I love that. I love when it's like, this is a children's thing, but I love it. Probably because they're one-off characters we never see again. Yeah. My go-to are either, I love Blondies. I love regular Toll House cookies, which are basically Blondies. They're just Toll House cookies in a different, in a brownie shape, not a cookie shape. Eclairs are also really good. I'm with Jay-Z. It's like anything with chocolate in it that doesn't have nuts in it. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I had a rough time during my first date. Oh, I'm so sorry. So let's recap. Let's see. So Velma has this friend who is a very nice baker who's very French. And he is where am I going? His business is failing, I assume because of this giant monster that's giving him trouble, but we don't know that yet. Like, the team doesn't know that yet. So we've met 2 suspects. The first suspect is the rival baker here, who's, like, kind of hangry. Our notes on why he could have done it is capitalism / competition / hangry / hates junk food, because he had a big thing against junk food. And then the other suspect is the guy's landlord, who's like, oh, he's not paying his bills, which I feel like that's a roundabout, like, unless he's trying to get him off the property to sell it to somebody else who he can, like, charge way more money. Like, the only reason he's not paying his bills is because of the monster. So I don't know if that's a good alibi just yet, but we'll have to see. So far, he's the least suspicious one to me. I originally bonded over cartoons we watched as children, Scooby Doo 1. Told him about the books you're reading, and now he wants them. I found them all. Somebody was just selling all of them pretty cheap on Amazon, or not Amazon, eBay. That's where I found these. And I'm sure you can find them other places, but, you know. Yeah, I hope you're feeling well. I'm sorry. I hope that was a very brief recap, but hopefully that clues you in. We haven't met the monster yet. We've only met a couple of the suspects. Actually, we're 13. Well, no, how many pages in are we? Where are we? We're only like 15 pages in, and we've already met 2 suspects. 17, 18 pages in, we met 2 suspects. Okay. Okay. Suspect 2, that's his name. His job is landlord. In parentheses. Not a nice one. Potentially. And his motive potentially is, how would I word his motive? Where 404, welcome. I bet it's costume. Yeah, I'm going costume too. I think we're mostly thinking costume. I feel it in my bones just looking at this monster that it's a costume. Motive. So, I mean, motive is, I guess he wants a better tenant, but, like, that doesn't even feel like the real motive, because it's like, again, he's only not making his rent because of the monster. So if like it's the if it's the landlord being the monster, I've got questions further. And chat notes. Do we have chat notes? It's our unprompted take. Yeah, we had supernatural in the previous book. No, I think, well, previous book technically was costume. It was costume. And then we had tech in the first one. So it was like tech, costume. I'm feeling costume for this one too. Yeah. Okay. Chat notes. Oh, the chat notes is he's really salty about those apricot pastries. If this comes down to he did it because of the apricot pastries, I'm gonna be so salty about it. Can't be something as petty. Yeah, if that's the motive at the end of the day, if he's like, you didn't make my pastries, old man, I'm gonna be like, what? Matt, my sister borrowed my personal copy. What? No. Oh, wow. We've jumped up to 18 concurrents. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're solving Scooby Doo and You, case of the doughy creature. I'm going to grab my charger real quick. Nobody go anywhere. I can see it from where I'm sitting. Salty enough to change into a saltine. Yeah, probably. He's very upset about those apricot not being there. Harry, feel like coming in and saying hi? Not yet? Okay. My cords are a mess in here, and I want to blame my cats for chasing everything around, but honestly, I can't. It's me. My cords always end up being a mess. That was my movie, not a library movie, and they didn't like stop her and be like, "This isn't ours." That's bizarre. Someone should stop her. I'm hopeful that Perry will make an appearance. She probably will. Welcome back. Thank you. It's gone, y'all. Let's read the book. Not without me. All right. Yeah, this guy is like hell-bent on eating these very specific apricot tart things, and he's very upset that the guy doesn't have them. It's very weird. If you put it in the book drop, oh no. Okay. So this is where we are. Yep, that's where we are. Okay. Clue keeper entry number 3. Jinkies, I said. Jinkies! There we go. I don't understand how he could walk away without getting something here. I took another bite of my cookie. The chocolate chips melted in my mouth. It was just about the best cookie I'd ever had. She's like, it wasn't the best, but it was close to the best. I don't mind, Shaggy said. It just means there's more left for us. He gazed at the display case. He still looked hungry. Look at all those people walking by, said Fred, gesturing out the window. Why don't they come inside for a treat? I saw a few people glance in, Daphne said. Maybe his prices are just really high. Maybe it's that. But they looked kind of scared or something. Then they just kept walking. Shaggy scratched his chin. What could possibly be scary about a bakery? I can't imagine, Fred said. Sure that I wasn't getting a glare. Seems like there's something going on. If only Monsieur Pamplemousse would talk about it. Maybe we could help. Just then, the bell over the door jingled again. We looked up to see another customer walk in. A blonde man in a business suit carrying a briefcase and wearing sunglasses. He looked around as if checking to see who had seen him come in. He did not take off the sunglasses. The man walked over to the case and began to lick his lips as he looked over the pastries. Oh my, I heard him mutter. He checked behind him again. Why are they describing this dude in, like, the creepiest way possible? Yes, we're on Scooby Doo, Case of the Doughy Creature. I'm not used to having this camera, so I keep feeling like I need to hold it up to this camera, but I know you guys can see it from here. That man is definitely no questions asked. What's the description? Oh, the description of the guy. So they just said the man, he looked around as if checking to see who had seen him come in. He did not take off his sunglasses. The man walked over to the case and began to lick his lips, looking over the pastries. Oh my, I heard him mutter. He checked behind him again. So, like, he's acting very shady for, like, no apparent reason. I'm just like, why? Why? What's happening? Bonjour, Monsieur Dewhurst, Monsieur Pamplemousse called as he bustled out of the kitchen to see who had come in. Shh, the man whispered. You know I don't want anyone to know I come in here. Okay. Monsieur Pamplemousse just laughed. You love fine pastry. That is nothing to be ashamed of, he said. Mr. Dewhurst looked upset. He shook his head. But I should be eating my own pastries. Yummy crullers, Monsieur Pamplemousse asked. Yummy crullers? Those are not pastries. Those are donuts for people who don't know anything about fine baking. Ouch. Damn. Maybe he's pretentious and that's why nobody's buying his stuff. Mr. Dewhurst started to say something. Monsieur Pamplemousse held up his hands. I know, your franchise makes plenty of money. You sell 1,000 donuts a day. You could open another store in this area and sell 1,000 more, but try this. He reached into the case and pulled out a cream puff. Tell me that isn't 10 times more delicious than your best donut. Mr. Dewhurst put down his briefcase. I mean, he's here, so I guess he does agree. Food critic? Sunglasses dude, or just a random person? I think he works for he owns like a big chain of donut shops. Think like Krispy Kreme, I guess. Dunkin' Donuts. Took a bite of the cream puff and closed his eyes, smiling. It's delicious, he said. Just delicious. Monsieur Pamplemousse nodded. He gestured to us. You see these young people, he asked? They appreciate delicious pastry as well. He introduced us. Mr. Dewhurst smiled nervously. I like yummy curlers too, Shaggy told him. I wish there were a yummy curler store right nearby. Do you think we could sell lots of donuts in this town? Mr. Dewhurst asked, interested. Oh yeah, man, Shaggy answered. Like, definitely, Mr. Dewhurst nodded thoughtfully. That's what I think, too. He picked up the rest of the cream puffs and sat down at a table to finish it off. I saw him take out a little notebook and make some notes as he ate. He still hadn't taken off his sunglasses. You notice the suspect eyes on page 22. Yep, literally the last thing on the page. Did you? Great. That means you've identified another suspect. Try to figure out more about him by answering these questions in your clue keeper. What is his name? What does he do for a living? Why would he be interested in shutting down the Grand Chez? Great job. You're on your way to solving this mystery. I feel like I should ask all the questions in like my Steve from Blue's Clues voice. Like, very seriously. I love Steve. The syrup. Ah, I'm very sorry. I'm glad we can all be here for you in this difficult time. Suspect 3. Capitalism to a T. Yep. Okay, so his name is Mr. Dewhurst. I remembered it that time, unless he has a first name that I'm forgetting. Let's see. His job is... He's a capitalist. Donut boy. Way to spell donut, because some people spell it one way and some people spell it a different way. I'm not sure where the discrepancy comes from or who's right. Potential motive is, I guess, greed. Although he's a big fan. Would he really want to shut down his favorite place? Greed and embarrassment, I guess? Because, like, it's better than his stuff? Embarrassment? I feel like I used too many letters in embarrassment, but I'm not sure where. And chat notes. What do we think, chat? How do you guys feel about crullers? Are you guys fans or not? I'm indifferent. I don't think they're bad, but they're also not what I get when I, like, go and get donuts. Yes, embarrassment. Yeah. I'm just gonna say his vibe is way off. His vibe is the vibe of somebody who definitely is guilty of something. I mean, let's see how they spell it. Crullers. Crullers. It's those, like, long, twisty-looking donuts that have the sugar on them. Or not, well, like powdered sugar. That's how I've always had crullers, anyway. Never tried them. Yeah, I mean, they're not bad. They're just, like, regular, if you want, like, donuts that don't have, like, that aren't very, like, frosting-y, but the frosting is my favorite part. Yeah, this guy has a guilty vibe. I mean, I'll eat them, but they wouldn't be my first choice. Being silent. Oops. It's all good. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let's end this poll. Where are we at? We got 20 votes. And I believe costume won. Costume won. Yeah. Costume won at 60%. Okay. Oh no, it's not closed. It's just I just closed it on the tab. Okay, I'm caught up. There we go. I can see better from the OBS, so that's what I pulled up. Yeah. So I think I always sign for some reason the notes that we take. I do wish the gang had to face more actual supernatural threats. Yeah, I mean, right after, like, right in the early 2000s was when they started, I almost spoiled myself, but I did not. Flipped faster. When they started being like, hey, monsters are real. And I actually like that premise. Not that I don't like when it's not, but it's nice to be like, oh, sometimes there actually are monsters. We're on page 24. Unpredictable formula Scooby Doo is ID of monsters. I love, rarely have donuts, but they're amazing. My go-to donuts would be from Greg's. I've never been to Greg's. We have... The real monster is greed, yes. That's very true. Honestly, my favorite place, I'm really basic. I will always go for Dunkin' Donuts. It just never fails to make me happy. Dunkin' Donuts is great. We have, like, more specialty ones. Like, Voodoo Donuts is big here, which is good. I don't... Long John or a lemon-filled one. Ooh, those sound good. We have this place called Happy Donuts that, like, I know a lot of people really like it. It's just not my thing. And people are always like, I can't believe you would go to Dunkin' Donuts over Happy Donuts. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just... Their chocolate donuts have a weird aftertaste. Sorry if anybody from Happy Donuts is watching. I guess there goes my sponsorship. Tackled supernatural stuff before. Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, and Alien Invasion. Yes, I have a video on Witch's Ghost. I need to do a Zombie Island one really soon. Talking about favorite donut places. Duck Donuts is amazing. Ooh, I've never been there either. We go to the store to one thing and end up grocery shopping. Yes, especially if you go in either. Like, if you go in hungry. That's the word. I was reading the word either, and I was trying to say hungry. Wow. Okay. Does Cyber Chase count as a supernatural mystery? I would say so. I haven't seen it in a while, but I would say so. I think his donuts all basically taste the same. Like, there isn't a lot to distinguish one brand from another. I agree. My thing with Happy Donuts specifically, or like sometimes with certain specialty donuts, their like chocolate has like a weird aftertaste that I do not like, that I don't find in just like run-of-the-mill like Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm just like, why is that? There's got to be a reason for this discrepancy. Besides all the learning segments, yeah. Copy that. I will keep that in mind, that word junior. I guess I'm just not a very fancy donut person. I'm with Noah. I'm like, donuts are donuts. They're all great. They're all donuts. I don't see why we have to be pretentious about them. It's sort of like I'm the same way with pizza because I don't come from a place that, like, we have some good pizza places here in Atlanta, but it's not like New York where we, like, specialize in pizza and have really authentic pizza. So I'm just like, pizza's pizza. It's all good. Anything with chocolate or icing, yes. I love the chocolate. I love jelly donuts. And I also really love, like, the marbly ones. The ones that have, like, the vanilla and chocolate frosting. Super good. Video on Castle. Ooh, I haven't thought about Castle in forever. I'll have to revisit Castle. I could go my entire life without eating another donut and be fine. They're good, but just whatever to me. Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes where I, like, really crave donuts, but I don't have them that often. It's once in a while. And usually I just kind of forget about them. Okay. Why is the picture out front two people running into each other with their baby carriages? Blue Keeper entry 4. By then, a few more customers... never took off his sunglasses, okay. By then, a few more customers had come into the store. I saw two women come in. One of them was carrying a baby. Are you sure it's safe? I heard her ask her friend. It's only a story, her friend answered. A silly story about a monster in a bakery. How could it be true? They walked over to look into the display case. I hear you, but also that's one of those things where it's like, how could it not be true? It's very specific. Dunkin' is overrated. You're in New England. Honeydew is better. Yeah, my family in New England doesn't really mess with Dunkin' the same way we do here down south. I think it's down south. I think it's a big deal. Don't be sorry for coming in and out of the chat. I just appreciate you being here at all in any capacity. A video on Witch's Ghost. It's my second favorite Scooby Doo movie. Behind Zombie Island. I'll have to watch your video later. I think Witch's Ghost, I think I said in that one, that one's my favorite because Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost are my two favorites, but I just have always loved the ambiance of Witch's Ghost, that like New York, or not New York, New England Halloween autumn vibe, and the Hex Girls are there, but Zombie Island is fantastic, and I've been trying to cover it for a long time, so I'll need to check that off the list soon. I think going forward, we're just going to triple down on the whole Halloween all year round and just, like, cover Halloween-y stuff no matter what time of year it is. It'll be, like, March, and I'll be, like, doing Halloween stuff. I glanced over at my friends to see if they'd heard. Sure enough, Daphne's eyes were round. A monster, Fred asked. In a bakery? Shaggy asked. I gulped. Jinkies! No wonder the place isn't so busy anymore. We didn't have a chance to talk about it more because Monsieur Pamplemousse chose that moment to speak up. There is no monster in my bakery, he announced. I invite all my customers for a tour of the baking area so I can prove this to you. Please join me. I feel like more people, not less people, would want to go to a bakery with a monster in it. That sounds like a tourist attraction. Two women looked nervous but interested. I saw Stanley Mason jump to his feet. It figured as a baker himself, he'd have to be interested in seeing Monsieur Pamplemousse's kitchen. Ingo Jameson shrugged. I've seen the place before, he said, since I own it, but it's always fun to take a tour with Monsieur Pamplemousse. A couple of other customers looked ready to join the tour as well. I gulped again. If there was a monster back in the bakery, did we really want to meet it? But Shaggy did. Yes, Velma, yes, this is what you do. But Shaggy didn't wait for me to answer. Like, wow, he said eagerly. I always wanted to go behind the scenes at a bakery. Reminds me of the Coke factory where it's just like, look at us bottling the Coke. Won't tell you what's in it, though. That's a secret recipe. Monsters probably like pastry too, right? Monster paying patrons too. Like Zombie Island for the plot and Witch's Ghost for their version of the Where Are You theme song. Yes. The Billy Ray Cyrus one. I forgot until I did the video that that's what it was. Ghost is a little more iconic to me because it has Tim Curry and the Hex Girls. Yes, that's what puts it over the top for me. Tim Curry and the Hex Girls. Yeah. So I feel you almost smell the fall air when you're watching it. The colors are so vibrant. I loved making the thumbnail for it because I just was like choosing for a background like all of these bright orange and purpley colors. And I was like, ooh, it's just so pretty. I love it. How many tours does this guy give? I don't know. I wonder how often he does the tours. And I wonder why he's so comfortable having the competition come in to take the tour. You'd think there would be like an exception. I love Scooby Doo theme from Witch's Ghost, and of course, the Hex Girls songs are great. The Hex Girls songs are just, they just go way harder than they need to. It's just so good. Okay. Monsieur Pamplemousse smiled. Wonderful, he said. Follow me. He led us behind the counter through a door and around a corner, and suddenly we were in a brightly lit room that smelled even more delicious than the store part of the bakery. There were high steel tables for rolling out dough and shelves stacked with cake pans and cookie tins. A big red notebook with the word recipes sat in the corner of one shelf. I saw rolling racks that held trays of just baked pastries, cookies, and cakes that must have been cooling before they could be put out in the case. And a giant mixing machine stood in one corner, mixing a huge batch of dough. Scooby looks very excited. He's looking at, like, the, I don't know, tea kettle happily? He's excited to be there. That is bread dough, Monsieur Pamplemousse explained. Here is what it looks like when it's just mixed. He went on, showing us a bowl with a small mound of dough in it. And here, he opened the door of a warming oven, is how it looks after the yeast has worked to make it rise. He pulled out a bowl of the same size, which was now overflowing with dough. Wow, Daphne said. Almost singing with the Head Girls. Yes. Terror Time Again is a song I listen to every October because it gets me in the October spooky mood. Yes. The amount of times I just randomly start singing their title song, Gonna Put a Spell on You. I don't know if that's the actual title or not, but that one, I sing that one all the time. Monsieur Pamplemousse went to show us the ovens where everything was baked, as well as the huge walk-in refrigerators where pastry ingredients were kept. Not everyone was paying attention. I noticed some of the people in the tour wandering off on their own to look at the racks of pastries again, or peek into the warming ovens. Monsieur Pamplemousse didn't seem to mind. As we walked by one of the tables, I noticed a bunch of cookie cutters, and right next to them was a little model of a person, all made out of dough. It was so cute with it's smaller, but this is Velma looking at the little person. With its round head and little round body. I wanted to go over to look at it, but then I was distracted by a waft of the most delicious smell. What's cooking? Daphne asks. That is a Chateau Chocolat, answered Monsieur Pamplemousse. The trigger word is technically, it kind of was Monsieur Pamplemousse because they say his name so many times, but it also just was the amount of French words that I didn't know how to say, but honestly, I think I'd just go into, like, sugar shock if I did that many. Yes. Yeah, I'm singing Noah's comment because it's so iconic. Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, Scott. Voices Shaggy and Scooby. Oh, I didn't realize he voiced Shaggy and Scooby. That's interesting. Remember when Velma's cousin's birthday was Halloween and no one cared, so she dressed as a monster to punish everyone? Yeah, I think we were talking about this one. Oh no, this was a different one, but yes, vaguely remember that. That sounds fancy, Mr. Jameson said. No, Monsieur Pamplemousse shook his head. It's just chocolate cake. Just chocolate cake? Shaggy and Scooby exchanged a look. Scooby licked his lips. We can have some after our tour, Monsieur Pamplemousse said. It should be done by then. He opened the door of a huge oven and peeked inside. Yes, I think it will be done. I stood on tiptoes and looked inside. Uh-oh, we're getting the first glimpse of the monster. It's happening. Just then, I heard Daphne gasp behind me. I whirled around to see a giant version of the little dough man I'd just seen on the table. He had grown just like the bread dough. He was taller than me, taller than Fred. How had he grown that fast? He was huge and puffy and looked dough-like. Kind of like the Michelin Man. His cute little round body. Velma didn't say that, I said that. Wasn't so cute anymore. If he grabbed one of us, we'd be stuck in his arms. It was like a nightmare. He raised his arms and started towards me. His doughy feet stuck to the floor with each giant step as he took, but he didn't seem to slow him down much. All I'm picturing is, you know the little thing of the parrot with the slappy feet? I'm picturing that, but with like this squashy, gross sound every time he takes a step. All of those are great Scooby Doo shoutouts. I want to cover all of that stuff. I love Scooby Doo. Never grew out of it. I cried running towards the door that led to the sales counter. Oh, that's the end. We didn't have any clues or suspects met in that one, so I'm just gonna read the comments that I missed. Also, those Hex girls would be perfect for cosplay. Yes. Yeah, I would love to do Hex Girls cosplay. That one, because the same day I saw it for the first time, I smashed my finger and turned my nail. Oh no! Oh gosh. I think I told the story of breaking my toe a couple years ago, but it was one of those dumb things where like I just stubbed it really hard, so it's not even a fun story, but I just like it turned blue and it was super painful and I like could not walk on it. This was back in like 2020. And to this day, like the joint still hurts. Like it's one of those injuries where like, especially when it's like raining, it still hurts. Villain from the Ghoul School was horrifying. I haven't seen it in a while. I have to watch it again, but I think I know what you're talking about. Convinced me to grab a few of my own. Tropical style, mind you. Nice. Pervert mailman hitting on Velma? I don't remember that. Best get ready for rain. My toes acting up again. Yeah, it's like you know how little old ladies are like, the storm's coming. I feel it in my bones. That's basically me. I really do like the cover. I think we decided that surely these books are a group effort, but I would like to point out that this is the same credited writer as Terrifying Pterodactyl, so all bets are on the table. My 8th grade class went on our DC trip. I got an ingrown toenail then, and the first day there I got sick. It was miserable the entire week. Oh, I'm so sorry. That reminds me of, I went to a Protoman concert with my brother and my friend. This was a couple years back. This was like 3 or 4 years back now. Damn. Anyway. The night before we left, I like had this, it turned out to be just a horrible panic attack, but I ended up in the hospital because they thought I was like having heart issues. I was just having a panic attack that was making my heart race really fast. And then get home, sleep for a few hours, get on the road, show up it was in Memphis, which I do not know my way around Memphis. I'd never been there before. So we're like kind of going around doing stuff. And then like after the concert, after we go to the concert, I feel like super sick, and I end up like violently sick with the flu, and end up like just sick and throwing up the whole way back home to Atlanta. And I was just like, well, that was a miserable experience, but it was a great concert. That does sound familiar, Patrick. Yeah. I remember that being a thing. I probably disapproved of it at the time, though. I was very serious about Scooby Doo. Definitely saw Robot Chicken way too young. Yeah, I've only seen like pieces of Robot Chicken. I don't think I've ever actually sat and watched it. Anyway, let's get back to the book. Okay. Here we go. Clue Keeper entry 5. Oh, interesting. Both times that this writer wrote, they wrote from the perspective of Daphne. I wonder if each writer gravitated towards one of the characters more. Whoop! Soundboard. Shaggy yelled. That must be the monster they were talking about. He's like a doughy creature. That's the name of the book. I gotta clean myself. Way too young myself. There are so many things I watched way too young. Now that I think about it, the baby gave a little shriek. Don't scream, please, Monsieur Pamplemousse begged. The other customers will be frightened. Don't be scared. It'll hurt my business. Come on, man. The doughy creature was moving towards us slowly but surely. Scooby, staring at the creature, took one too many steps backwards and fell right into the bowl of the giant mixer. Right! He cried as he went round and round. Help! Daphne grabbed Scooby and helped him out of the mixer. He was covered with dough. Then Fred sneaked up behind the bowl and turned up the speed. The creature howled as he was spun round and round. Let's get out of here, Fred said. Follow me. We all ran out into the sales room. The customers in the store took one look at our frightened faces and pushed their way out the door. Monsieur Pamplemousse was wringing his hands. You see, he said, nobody wants to come to my bakery because of that monster. What can I do? Don't worry, I told him. Now I understand why you've lost so much business. We can help you. If we can figure out where the monster came from, maybe we can make sure he never shows up again. He's apparently a close family friend of Velma's, right? Like, he has to know that she solves mysteries with her friends. Why wouldn't he just tell her, first off? I'd be suspicious of him if the book said I could be. Could you do that? Monsieur Pamplemousse asked. If you could, I would be grateful forever. I would offer you a lifetime supply of pastry. Yes. Pride, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Time to mix it up. I love it. Monsieur Pamplemousse, Shaggy said, stepping in and putting his hand over his heart. Like, say no more. We're at your service. Who still had bits of dough clinging to his fur, stepped up next to Shaggy and put his paw over his heart, too. Okay, I said to the others, I think there's something fishy about this monster. What gave it away, Velma? How about if we split up and look for clues? Shaggy and Scooby and I can look around the kitchen. That sounds great, Fred said. Daphne and I can look around the store and the dining area. Of course they can. We can meet at the table where we were sitting before, Daphne suggested. Just be sure to be careful. That doughy creature could create pretty sticky situation. Daphne, this is me rolling my eyes again. Nothing can come between me and, like, a lifetime supply of free pastry, Shaggy said. Let's go. Shaggy and Scooby and I walked. Shaggy and Scooby and I, yeah, I was right, walked into the kitchen and looked around. The kitchen was quiet and clean. There was no sign of the doughy creature. I sighed with relief. Where do we start? I wondered, looking around. I guess we check to see if anything's missing or, like, out of place, Shaggy said. Was this cookie here before? He held up a big peanut butter cookie that had been sitting on a plate on one of the work tables. I think I'd better check if it's okay, he added, taking a bite. He said a second later, with his mouth full. Nothing wrong with this cookie. Like, nothing at all. Scooby gave Shaggy a hopeful look. Shaggy grinned at him and gave him the last bite of the cookie. Scooby said happily. Jinky! Oh, hang on. There you go. I cried just then. Look what's missing! I pointed to the shelf over in the corner. Before there had been a big red recipe book up there. Now it was gone. How will Monsieur Pamplemousse be able to make all these delicious things without his recipes? The recipe book was stolen. And, like, who would steal something like that? Shaggy asked, scratching his head. That doesn't make much sense. Okay. I'm actually surprised that there's never been a Scooby Doo Ghostbusters crossover. I thought there was. Was there not a Ghostbusters crossover? Did I make that up in my head? I must have made that up. It just feels so right. Okay, wait. No sign of a creature. Where do we start? Anything's missing or like out of place? Okay, the cookie is peanut butter, and the guy had an allergy, right? So it's like, did you notice the flashlight on page 34? Now that you've got your first clue, you might want to write down the answers to these questions in your clue keeper. What clue did you find in the entry? Why is the clue important? Which of the suspects might have been responsible for this clue? Okay. So I'm going to write down on the back part of I'm getting sugary dust everywhere. Oh, well. Clue 1. So the recipe book is gone. But the culprit left behind. A peanut butter cookie. My observation is that another baker would want the book. Let's see. What was his name? The guy who was allergic. The first guy. Stanley Mason. Stanley Mason is allergic. If anybody's like going to bed right about now, hopefully the writing is helping a little bit. Allergic to nuts. So my main suspect is the guy that we said he was acting really guilty, because he is also, he owns a donut shop. He has a vested interest in having the recipes himself. The other guy was really obsessed with apricots. I know that that's not, like, ironclad proof, but it's like, oh, it couldn't have been him because, you know, he was obsessed with the apricot stuff. That's not solid proof, but I just think it's interesting. I don't have a peanut allergy, but I have a tree nut allergy. So I feel you. Although peanuts are found in, like, everything, so that must be harder to avoid. Mindy Cohen, who voiced Velma nearly 20 years, is going to an all-girls boarding school. while researching for the facts of life and cast her in her first role. Interesting. That's cute. Wait, now I'm interested. Hang on, guys. Before we go to the next part. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. To see. So there was no Scooby Doo Ghostbusters, but it was like so memed that everybody thinks they remember it. Is that what I'm getting at? Scooby Doo Ghostbusters. There was a Ghostbusters. There was a Lost comic. There was a DC comic. Interesting. Interesting. Mindy Cohen voicing Velma. I mean, the OGs are the OGs, you know? They all do great, but... Okay, that's interesting. I literally thought there was, like, one of those Scooby-Doo, new Scooby-Doo movies with the Ghostbusters. Cover some of those, too. Those were very, like, 80s Scooby-Doo. Okay, interesting. I'm the short, doughy guy. I can't trust those little twerps. Note that I've paid little attention. Moral support, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, sorry. I'm done being sidetracked. Okay, going back to this. All right. My drink first, so I don't lose my voice. I had the VHS tape, Scooby-Doo, Batman, and Robin. I would watch it all the time. That also needs to be a thing. All right, so where are we? We're on Clue Keeper entry 6? Yeah, we're on 6. Okay, Velma gives us no moral support, but I'm sure she believes in us, because she's awesome. And in my mom's house, watching for her and some lights I definitely turned off on. Wait, where you were the last one to hear from me? Oh God, please be careful. My grandfather's house, lights will just turn on by themselves. It's really freaky. All right, Clue Keeper entry 6. I can't believe somebody took Monsieur Pamplemouse's recipe book, I said. Like, it's tragic, Shaggy agreed, but maybe he has most of his recipes memorized anyway. He added, hopefully. I can't do the Shaggy voice, but I just kind of hear his, like, cadence. See if we can find anything else missing, I said. I started to walk around the kitchen, checking all the tables and shelves. I even peeked into the giant bins of flour and looked into the warming ovens. We had to do a complete search if we wanted to find clues. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby were looking over the rolling racks that held trays of pastries. Look, Scoob, Shaggy said. There's a little piece missing out of the cream puff. Do you think it's a clue? Scooby took a close look, very close, so close that some cream ended up on the tip of his nose. In the next second, the cream puff had disappeared into Scooby's mouth. Oops. Shaggy grinned. Like, so much for that piece of evidence. He helped himself to the next cream puff on the tray. I know Monsieur Pamplemousse wouldn't want us to be working on, like, an empty stomach. He wolfed down the cream puff and licked his lips. In fact, I'm pretty sure he'd want us to know all about every pastry in this place. Otherwise, how can we figure out the mystery? He began to pull out each rack, helping himself and Scooby to one of each of all the different pastries that were cooling. Wow, try this one, Shaggy said. Shaggy cried, pointing to some apple strudel. Okay, I made it out alive. Yes! Hey, Hannah! Welcome! We're solving the case of the doughy creature. Who, yes, he kind of looks like the Michelin Man, but, you know, he's the doughy creature. They all look scared. Excellent, Scooby agreed. Rexcellent might be my favorite way that Scooby has pronounced anything. Oh no, Scooby, Shaggy, don't eat the evidence. I know. I was like, why aren't we getting a little flashlight thing? Oh, because they ate the evidence. They ate the evidence? Okay. Books really make Shaggy and Scooby seem like they just take advantage of people's generosity. I mean, I love them, but don't they kind of? They kind of do. And this one, Shaggy reached onto another rack. There's the monster. Wait a minute. This is a very similar picture to the monster that we saw before. Yeah, I guess it's technically different, but it's very similar. I was like, did they just reuse the illustration? Look, this pastry has apricots on it. Almonds, too. Yum. I wonder if it's the kind Ingo Jameson likes. Maybe Monsieur Papamoose was going to surprise him with it. Shaggy checked the rack. That's funny, he said. Hey, Velma, he called to me. There's one missing, and I didn't take it, did you? Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Okay. It's a clue. He stole the apricots. Maybe he's being framed. I don't know. No, I replied from across the kitchen. Scooby and Shaggy were both so focused on the pastries they didn't notice a noise behind them. Suddenly, two huge blobby hands reached out and grabbed Scooby and Shaggy by the shoulders. Shaggy told me later that he could smell the doughy creature. That he could smell the doughy creature's sweet breath because the monster was so close. They're really using the catchphrases tonight. Shaggy cried, "It's the doughy creature! Run for your life!" He ducked and pulled away from the creature's grasp. The creature seemed bigger than ever. Come on, Scoob! Shag ran towards the big metal door, hoping to find his way out of the kitchen. Scooby dashed after him. The doughy creature was right on their heels. Shaggy yanked the door open. No, I cried. That's the walk-in refrigerator. But it was too late. In his rush to get away from the creature, Shaggy jumped inside, pulled Scooby in with him, and slammed the door behind them. The doughy creature pounded on the door with his huge fist howling loudly. I ran to the opposite direction, toward the sales counter, the dining room, and to safety. Shaggy and Scooby were going to be cold, but at least they were safe from the creature. She's like, well, sucks to suck. That's a you problem, guys. Don't eat the clue, Shag. I know, right? Going to give us a free meal for solving a crime. We'll take 2 of the entire menu. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, getting paid in food is kind of the least somebody can do when they're almost dying to solve crimes, but, you know. They always do that. That's their thing, because they're gluttonous stoners. Yeah. We love them, though. Scooby ate the apricots. Scooby eat the cheese monster. Wait, to eat a cheese monster in a pup named Scooby Doo. Yes, I remember that. Eat the cheese costume. Yeah. He didn't eat the person, just the cheese. That's a new sentence, hopefully. They ate cotton candy monsters in the live-action Scooby-Doo, too. Yes, remember that. That's nothing. They devoured the candy floss monster in Monsters Unleashed. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Shaggy and Scooby's mystery solving tips. Did we get any from Fred? Barely heard from Fred this book. Is he okay? Yeah, there he was. We had one from Fred. Like, we were freezing in that fridge, but you must be happy since you found a clue. I did. I found it all by myself. Right? Try answering these questions in your Clue Keeper. What clue did you find in this entry? Which suspect did you think might be responsible for the clue? Why would the doughy creature be upset about us finding the clue? Okay. Cotton candy glob. The cotton candy monster is called. Interesting. Sometimes I forget their proper names. Gosh, there's so much Scooby-Doo content. I'm just wrapping my mind around. I'm like, one of these days I hope to be able to say I covered it, like, all of it. And I'm like, that's never gonna happen. There's so much Scooby-Doo. Now I just want to watch Scooby Doo movies. Yeah, I miss them. I haven't seen them in ages. Reasons why the dough monster is mad. Scooby and Shaggy ate the pastries. It was the chef that I've been suspicious of the whole time, and he's just pissed that we're stealing from him. Okay, clue 2. Guess I could underline with these other ones. Not that it matters, but you know, at least now they'll be matching. Not to press down too hard on my desk, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so clue 2 is the missing apricot pastries. Those damn apricot pastries. That's them devouring Stay Puff Marshmallow. But my mate, he is made of ectoplasm, so he wouldn't taste very good. What was the second? Who could have left it behind? I mean, the guy, the landlord guy. Ingo. So observation 1. Ingo is weirdly obsessed. With the apricot pastries. And I guess just to tack on to that, I love how serious I'm taking this children's book. Anyway, okay. Stop being dramatic, camera. Sorry about that, guys. It keeps, like, glitching. We have 3 suspects, and we're probably going to have 3 clues. We usually get 3 and 3 in these books. So we're on clue number 2. First clue was the missing recipe book next to the peanut butter cookie, which I guess rules out Stanley Mason because he's allergic. And then we have clue number 2 is the missing apricot pastry, which what's his name is obsessed with. I'm suspicious of Ingo. Every time I read the name Ingo, I think Inigo. And then I think my name is Inigo Montoya. 3. Yeah, I think we always end up with 3. There's like 3 suspects and then somebody who we just kind of assume is innocent, I guess. I'm not sure why, but that's kind of how this works. And then we get 3 clues. Kind of how these books are partitioned. You've killed my father, prepare to die, yes. That I just like more and more the older I get. Like, when I was a kid, I never appreciated the humor. And now I do. Okay, so Shaggy and Scooby are in the freezer. When I used to work at a nonprofit, and we had a walk-in freezer, and I was terrified of getting stuck in it every single time. I never did, though, but it was just like this irrational fear I had. Red Bonehound. I don't remember that song. I remember that show. All right, Clue Keeper entry 7. When do you think they make the Clue Keeper entries? Like on the drive back? When does Fred have time? Does he like let somebody else drive for once and take notes? Fred, Daphne. I ran out of the kitchen and right into my friends. You won't believe what happened. The doughy creature chased Shaggy and Scooby right into the walk-in refrigerator. Oh no, Daphne cried. That's terrible. We'd better let them out, Fred said. We started back into the kitchen, but Monsieur Pamplemousse stopped us. Wait, he said, what if the creature is still in there? I don't want anyone to get hurt in my bakery, but they're gonna be frostbitten. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Monsieur Pamplemousse is right, Fred said. We should think about this. How can we rescue Shaggy and Scooby without getting caught ourselves? We all thought for a moment. My brain just made up words there. We all thought for a moment. Shaggy! I'm having too much fun with that. I know, she said. I know, I said, remembering the missing pastry. I have a feeling that the creature likes apricot pastries. What if we leave a tray of it in plain sight for him to see? If he's around, he'll pay more attention to them than to us. Excellent plan, Monsieur Pamplemousse nodded. I have a tray of them right here. I felt sorry for Mr. Jameson, so I made several batches. I was wondering why he didn't have them, but didn't he say he didn't have the... Didn't he say he didn't have the ingredient? I'm confused. He pulled out a tray from beneath the counter. Sure enough, they were the same one Shaggy and Scooby and I had seen in the kitchen, complete with almonds and apricots. Fred took it. Great, we'll put these in plain sight, somewhere far from the fridge. They're really heavy. They're extra heavy-handed with the clues in this one. I know it's for children, but still. Then we can let Scooby and Shaggy out of there. We walked into the kitchen together, looking all around for the creature. He was... Oh my gosh. Oh, they're frozen. Poor guys. He was nowhere in sight, though I did see some doughy marks on the floor where he'd walked. Fred put the tray of pastries on one of the work tables. Those apricot pastries sure do look good, he said loudly. Apricot? My favorite, Daphne echoed. In the creature, very subtle, guys. If the creature was around, and if I was right about his taste in pastries, he wasn't going to be paying any attention to us. I headed straight for the walk-in fridge and threw the door open. Hey, what's up? Shaggy asked. He was shivering, and his arms were covered in goosebumps from the cold, but he was smiling. Poor guy. And eating a big bowl of cookie dough. Ruh-roh, Scooby said, pulling his paw out of the bowl. When he realized they'd been caught. We, found this stuff on one of the shelves, Shaggy explained. We thought we'd better keep eating just to keep warm. Sure, Fred said with a smile. Well, as long as you're safe. Come on out of there, and we'll tell you all about the clue we found. We found some too, I said. We all trooped back out into the dining area and sat down around the old table to compare notes. I told Daphne and Fred about the clues we had found. Then Daphne showed me a small notebook and a tape measure. I found these on the floor near one of the display cases. Look at the notes inside. Flashlight. I looked at the first page. 48 inches at 4 inches per donut equals 12 donuts per row. I read. That's strange. Monsieur Pamplemousse doesn't even bake donuts. I think it's time to get to the bottom of this in the bakery, Fred said. I have a feeling somebody might have cooked up this creature. Very nice, Fred. It's time to trap the doughy creature and find out who he really is. Confused. I'm very confused. We're betting you spotted the flashlight on page 45. Do you have a feeling we're getting closer to solving the mystery? You can help by answering the following questions. What clue did you find in this entry? What does it have to do with the mystery at the bakery? Which suspect might have left its clue? Okay. Right. I forgot to make the poll. Right. Sorry. Let's do this. Let's make the poll. You eat raw cookie dough? I mean, I eat raw cookie dough all the time. I think that's just a myth that you can't eat raw cookie dough. Trap mode Fred! Yes. This is where he shines. The band was called the Dillards. They used electric guitars in some of their songs and were one of the first country bands to do so. Nice. You close the poll on the kind of monster. I thought I did. I didn't because I did it from in OBS and I thought it would close it, but it really just took it away from my site. So we're leaning heavily towards costume. Fred, it's trapping time. Is that Fred's? Do you think Fred's favorite kind of music is trap music? Make the poll. Yeah, I'm making the poll in a second. Almost practically a genius, right? I'm sure they have a computer in the mystery machine that can take Fred's voice messages and make notes so he can drive and take notes at the same time. Ah, yes. I didn't think of that. That is very true. Almost at Jinkies. Yes, I'm having way too much fun with my soundboard. I hope everybody's hearing the sounds. Your worm's message. Real life band. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat. Computer or something in the van. Scared my uncle, prepared to die. I love this. Judy Garland rapping in a movie from the 40s. I have not, but that sounds amazing. Let's start a new poll. Okay. Who's the baddie? I should have remembered to do this earlier, so sorry. I'll remember to do it next time. So we've got Stanley. We've got Ingo. We've got, who's the other guy? I already forget his name. Mr. Dewhurst? I'm about to say Dewberry. That's not a thing. Mr. Dewhurst. I'm actually going to add another option since last time we had team up. And I'm just going to say explain. Explain. There we go. That's how you spell that word. There you go. Okay. Let's see. So clue 3. Donut measurements. What Australian TV shows you've seen so far? What's your favorite to commentate? Favorite to commentate on. I mean, Round the Twist has a special place in my heart. Just for how. I remember watching it and thinking it was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. It's not anymore, but that was early on the channel, so. It's a lot of fun. You never know what you're going to get with Round the Twist. But I also love Skippy, because Skippy's just fun. It's just Lassie with a kangaroo, and I love that for us. So this points to Mr. Dewhurst. But they were also heavily pointing, because I was like, oh, they're really just giving us the answer quickly. But, like, the other clue pointed towards the landlord. So what do we think? Do we think they teamed up? Different World. I should do a video on Different World. Can I just say thank you guys for making these streams so popular? I was really worried that nobody else was going to care at all. And I'm just really happy that this series is getting viewership, because to me, it's very important. Pick the last one because his name starts with Do. I like it. A clue to... What's the guy's name? Ingo. Ingo Jameson. That was the worst M I have ever written. Not care about Scooby. Blasphemy. Yeah, no, I just never knew. I just never know, because whenever you do something different, like, we hadn't done a reading stream in a while. And so I was like, I don't know if, like, a lot of the newer people from chat are going to care about reading streams. They might just be, like, bored. So yeah, I'm really glad you guys are here. Whenever a night at work isn't too bad, then someone in a higher up position just does something that pisses you off. Ooh, yep. Mm-hmm. When you're like, my day was going great until someone was an idiot about it. I'm looking back at something. I have a genuine question. $1,000 donuts a day. Well, yeah, and he was taking notes in his notebook. Book and make some notes as he ate. Yeah, so it's definitely his notebook, but like, do we think it's a team up thing? Do we think evil guy and other evil guy, landlord guy and donut guy are teaming up? Or is it just gonna be like, no, everybody likes the apricot things, silly goose? All the bread everywhere. You're betting you spotted the clue on page 45. Closer solving mystery. Oh, I already read this. Okay. Okay. Let's clue keeper entry number 8. Ooh. See, Dewhurst and Ingo are pretty neck and neck. Could be both of them. We had a team up before. Ooh. No, I didn't want to pop out the chat. I didn't want to do that. Okay, hang on. Oh, that's weird. Why would I want to do that? That's a terrible way to read chat. Store chat. There you go. Sorry, guys. Scooby Doo books have helped me see franchise in another light. They actually made me care about the mystery. Aw, I'm glad. These are such an represented, like, all near forgotten thing in the franchise. So I was really happy to bring them to the channel. What did you miss? I don't know what you saw. If you just missed the last chapter, we found a notebook full of donut measurements. So we're thinking Mr. Dewhurst, but also the apricot pastries make me wonder if he's working with the landlord guy or if that's just a red herring, like in the pup named Scooby Doo. Last chapter. Let's see. Yeah, so they got Scooby and Shaggy out of the freezer. And then Daphne and Fred were like, look at what we found. And it was this thing. It was a notebook that with notes that said 48 inches at 4 inches per donut equals 12 donuts per row. That's strange. It doesn't even bake donuts. Interesting. Okay. So that's what we found. That's the clues we found. Yes, I'm taking it very seriously, but also I will be heartbroken if we cannot solve this children's mystery. Clue keeper entry number 8. What was the best way to trap the Doughy creature? Fred had an idea. The Doughy creature wants to shut down Monsieur Pamplemouse's bakery. If he thinks the bakery is getting more business than ever, he'll show up to try to stop it. That makes sense, Shaggy said, nodding. So how do we make it look like there's more business? By pretending that Monsieur Pamplemousse had to hire 2 new pastry chefs, Fred said, producing 2 big puffy chef's hats. You and Scooby will disguise yourselves as chefs and pretend to be working in the kitchen. But all of the suspects have met them. Okay, I'm overthinking it. You ever done choose your own adventure books? Not on stream, but I actually have been looking into tracking some down for future streams. I'll have to get through some of these. I do have some Give Yourself Goosebumps books that are basically just Goosebumps but choose your own adventure novels, so we have a bunch of those right now. But the actual official, like, choose your own adventures, I want to find. I'm leaning all the way off screen with the book, sorry. That will bring the doughy creature around, and the rest of us can trap him and find out who he really is. Shaggy was shaking his head. Like, this sounds too dangerous to me. Scooby said, holding out both paws and shaking his head too. Come on, Shaggy, I said. Think of all the pastries you can eat while you're working. He said. Shaggy's eyes lit up. One second thought. Scooby still looked unsure. How about it, Scooby? Daphne asked. Will you do it for a Scooby snack? Scooby folded his arms and stuck his chin in the air. How about 2 Scooby snacks? I asked. Scooby opened one eye as if he were considering my offer. 2 Scooby snacks and a 7-layer chocolate cake baked just for you, Monsieur Pamplemousse put in. But dogs can't eat chocolate. What are you doing? I guess Scooby is a talking dog. He's a different breed. He's built different. That did the trick. Okay. Scooby's eyes lit up as he nodded eagerly. Daphne tossed him 2 Scooby snacks, and he gobbled them down. Then he and Shaggy put on the chef's hats and matching white chef's coats. The final touch, matching big black mustaches just like Monsieur Pamplemousse's. Why? That's not a disguise. It's a dog with a mustache. No, is no one gonna have any questions? I would have questions. I know, don't feed Scooby chocolate, Hannah. That's what I'm saying. Hannah and I are on the same track. Then we all headed into the kitchen. Scooby and Shaggy took up their places at a work table while the rest of us hid behind the cooling racks. When the doughy creature appears, we'll roll these racks toward him and trap him in pastry jail, Fred said. Then we can find out if he's a creature or a criminal. I sure hope your plan works, Shaggy said nervously. Trust us, Daphne said. Shaggy shrugged. Like, okay, he said. He started to knead some bread dough that was on the work table. Like, here I go, being a pastry chef, he continued in a louder voice. We need lots of extra bread and pastry for all those new customers. How is this working? There's no way this is working. Hey, misfiring. No, not. Don't take out. You're not actually gone for 5 minutes, misfiring. I don't know why. I'll have to tweak Nightbot again. Sorry. Yeah, give said chocolate to the chat, not the dog. Bait, always life bait, but their disguises are sometimes funny. Yeah, I'm not over Scooby with a mustache. Tonga pastries is making me hungry. My partner and I have been eating a paleo diet. He has to go on to help his skin condition not flare up. And now all I want is chocolate. Oh, that's so sweet of you. You're a great boyfriend for... You're a great partner for being supportive. Fred's traps. No. Fred's traps sometimes work, to be fair. Is that the same talking dog I saw earlier? Now this one has a mug. Oh my god, you're right. This isn't the same one. Even though he has the Scooby Doo tag on him, it's gotta be a different talking dog. A Scoob stash. It's like Ninja Turtles. If the turtles wear trench coats and a hat, Scooby's the size. Yeah, why do the Ninja Turtles feel the need to wear a mask? They're giant talking turtles. Are you telling me there's more of them to get confused with? Scooby joined in the act, rolling dough with Shaggy, sprinkling flour on the wood table. Anybody made homemade pasta before? It's so fun. I used to love it. And I'm spilling. Okay. Chaos. Clearly an entire universe of mutants exists. True, that's true. I will give them that. It's fine, I'm glad to see you. Thank you for coming to the chat. Today our food plan had us eat salmon cakes and kale salad. That sounds good. Oh my god, kale is the most disgusting thing I've ever had. I'm not big on kale either, but some people really like it, so I was hopeful that you were one of the people that was like, I love kale. Join a gym. My exercise of choice is like cardio-based things. I used to run all the time, or just like walk or jog. Start out with basics. Master. True, that is true. That is true. But it is funny to me because it's like, oh my god, when they put on the mask, I think it's a different giant talking turtle. Suddenly, there was noise from behind one of the ovens, and the doughy creature appeared just behind Shaggy and Scooby. Large and puffy, with arms outstretched, he lumbered toward Shaggy. Shaggy didn't notice. He was getting very involved in his bread dough. You know, Scoob, he said, this is like a lot of fun. I wouldn't mind being a real pastry chef. They'd eat all the merchandise. Being a journalist is also pretty neat. Yeah. Patrick, I'm sure you're fine. It's all about just being healthy and comfortable in your own skin. Daphne's. Scooby has the inner workings of a normal dog. I'm sure he doesn't, because they've eaten their way through all those eclairs and stuff. He's probably fine. Rude, Patrick. Mothers can be blatantly honest sometimes, can't they? Shaggy didn't know. Real pastry chef. I read to the end of the thing. First time they like being bait. Yeah, they're getting to snack, so they're fine. Always like cardio too. Work out during breaks while on walks. Doing. You see, he's probably getting big, very big dog. He's so cute. All right, we got a huge illustration. Just then, the doughy creature took one step closer. Wait a second, I smell dough, Shaggy said. You're surrounded by dough. He turned to see the creature breathing down his neck. Ah, he cried. Now, yelled Fred. We all pushed our racks forward, surrounding the creature in a cage. We'd caught him. Shaggy and Scooby sighed with relief. I think it's time to find out who this creature really is, Fred said. He reached through the racks and grabbed the doughy creature's head. He pulled at the dough, and with a sucking sound, it came right off. The head was fake. Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to tell me it was a real dough man. And you catch a dough ghost with a dog being a pastry chef. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Losing 13 pounds is not a small thing. That's pretty impressive. More tea, Daphne asks as she holds up the teapot. You and the gang have nearly finished all the food Shaggy ordered. We're back at Chan's noodle house, by the way. Everything was great, especially the egg rolls. Sure, you say, putting down the clue keeper and holding out your cup. Looks like you're done reading my notes, Velma said. Do you think you're ready to solve the mystery? You're not positive, but you say you'll give it a try. We'll help, Fred said. First of all, think about your suspects. Which of them do you think had a good reason to scare people away from Le Grand Chez? Second, Daphne adds, which of the suspects might have left the clues that we found? It might help to eliminate some of the suspects, if you can. Velma points out, how about a fortune cookie? Shaggy asks, like, it might bring you good luck. He hands you a plate of fortune cookies, and you choose one and break it open. Your fortune says, you're close to finding out the truth. That sounds promising. Look over your clue keeper one more time, Daphne suggests. Then when you're ready, we'll tell you who the doughy creature really was. Can you guess who's behind the doughy creature's antics? When you're ready to turn the page, read how the gang solved the mystery. Okay. Capitalism, yes. Worst part of not knowing your own strength most of the time, you're okay. Not enough to... Oh gosh, and then you strip the screw. Yeah. Unmasking time, yes. Looks very unpredictable and I've completely underestimated them. I'm actually questioning it for the first time. The first two I was like, I know who it definitely is. And then halfway through this one I was like, oh, they're making it really easy on us. And now I'm like, it could go either way. I know it's not this guy, the first guy we met, the other pastry chef. I know it's not him because he's allergic, so it's definitely not him. Could be the apricot obsessed guy. Let's see. I'm actually looking it back over because I'm confused. What? Chat, probably. Yeah, so Misfiring, we're doing this book. It's The Case of the Doughy Creature. Somebody's trying to shut down a French pastry chef's place of business, a bakery, if you will. I can just see you going toe-to-toe with the paparazzi. Let's see. Okay, so this guy literally only eats the apricot pastries, right? And there was more than just the apricot pastries missing. I think that's what I'm supposed to pick up on. This is a children's book, after all. It can't be that difficult. You never saw it coming. Yeah, the book, we're underestimating the book because it's actually making us think for a second. I'm looking back for that part because I want to know. Oh, it's 9:30 already. Wow. These books end up being just like the perfect length for a stream, for them to each get their own stream. Kingdom Hearts on solo PC. Yes, so we were planning on starting Kingdom Hearts streams with Maddie, starting with the first one this coming Monday. But we're actually going to take 2 Mondays off from having Maddie on. You might see me reading these books or playing some other game. But Maddie's got scheduling conflicts, so she's going to take 2 weeks off. So not this coming Monday, not next Monday, but the Monday after that, which I believe is the 26th, if I'm not mistaken. That's when we're starting Kingdom Hearts. And it's going to be PC, because I'm not a PlayStation owner. You sure it's not just Shaggy and Scooby off page? Maybe. I'm not sure of anything anymore. Back, because I want to see... I know my brain wasn't making it up. I know it's a really dumb thing, but I know that they're going to be like, it couldn't be the second guy, because he only eats the apricot stuff. Right, peanut butter cookies. Right, so it's got to be the third guy. So my money's on the third guy. Mr. Dewhurst, the donut man. Which you can't see. Yeah, we might be stuck with unskippable cutscenes for the first Kingdom Hearts, but we'll make it. I winced, but my brother knows nothing about Kingdom Hearts, and he was helping me get the first game installed and everything. And he was just like, oh my god. Like, the controllers on, like, PlayStation controllers are different than Xbox controllers, so he was just having that moment to be like, oh my god, so many cutscenes, buttons are all different. Okay, so here's my guess. Here's what happened. Does anybody want to hear my here's what happened? It cannot be Stanley. Because he's allergic. The second guy was obsessed with apricot stuff, and I think that's what we were supposed to think. But, like... I'll hang on to the landlord. At least I'll know some of the chat. We'll get this right. Get to the reveal. Gotta be... Yeah, this is the first time where we're split. I'm actually impressed that the book has a split. Good for it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna really like Kingdom Hearts. Misdirection. Yes, I think it was a red herring. Monster likes the apricots. But also cookies. So I didn't underline that correctly. It was more like it went through. So I think, what was the other guy's name? I'm forgetting every single person's name all the time. Ingo Jameson. I keep forgetting. It's a cool name. You'd think I'd remember it. Always innocent too. So I think Mr. Dewhurst is a guilty donut capitalist. Capitalist? Name for a band? Name for a band, maybe. Okay. Kingdom Hearts is fun. I'll enjoy it. I'm sure I will. I've kind of always wanted to get more into it. Cookies! Yes, now I want cookies. My brother's been absolutely... does anybody else write left-handed and therefore your check marks are backwards and that confuses people? Her Dewberry. Do us a favor to hit new game file, select screen until it comes out and plays. You will be getting credit roll. It's grown up in franchise. You owe it to yourself. Okay, I'm sure Maddie will not let me do anything that I'm not supposed to do. She knows so much about the series. Okay, so are we making our final guesses? Looks like 50% of the chat is with me on Mr. Dewhurst. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on things before. All right, are we ready to find out, guys? I'm gonna eat another one of these just for old times. I lost count of how many times they used the French guy's name. Let's just count this as me getting caught up on taking a hit every time that happens. All right, seems like we're all ready. See. Can you guess who's behind the doughy creature's antics? When you're ready, turn the page to read how the gang solved the mystery. Hippie, I think. Yeah, I'm sure. It'll be interesting to see what chat does. Or not chat, what YouTube does. I hope it doesn't get pissy with us for streaming the game. It should be fine. Ooh, nice. It was Mr. Dewhurst, the yummy curlers man, Fred says. I like to think that Fred is just like, you're that guy with the curlers. Yeah, I like to know that everybody's excited for Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Summation time. He created a costume out of hardened donut dough and dressed up like the doughy creature to scare people away from Lagrange because he wanted to open a donut store in that space. Aha! He had access to the dough, too. I didn't even think about that, but that's also a good point. He sold a recipe book, too, since he wanted to learn how to make good pastries, not just donuts, and he couldn't resist grabbing that apricot pastry when nobody was around to see him eating it. He wasn't the only suspect who would have liked to close down the bakery, Velma tells you. Ingo Jameson had his reasons, too. He could have rented the place in a minute to someone who could pay the rent. We wondered if he might have stolen the recipe book to find out how to make those apricot pastries, and of course, he would have snitched the pastry himself because he loved them so much, but why would he be measuring the pastry cases? He's the landlord, and as he said, he knows everything about his own building. He did say that, that's true. And there's a happy ending to the story, Daphne adds. Business will be up. Like he's getting his pastries, Mr. Landlord Man. He's a nice landlord at the end of the day. I know, I'm really glad the motivation wasn't about the apricot parts. Monsieur Pamplemousse has promised to make the apricot pastries every day for his landlord. Again, now that the creature is gone, Mr. Pamplemousse has promised to make the apricot pastries every day for his landlord. Nice! You probably know that the other suspect was Stanley Mason, says Fred. He's a baker, too, and he was jealous of Monsieur Pamplemousse's great baking. He's decided to give up pastry making and concentrate on Italian food instead. Even though we thought it might be him at first because he might have stolen the recipe book and also the apricot pastry, we realized it couldn't be him because he's allergic to nuts, and there were almonds in that pastry, Daphne explains. Finally, Fred said, the clue that tipped us off was the notebook Mr. Dewhurst left by the display case. He took advantage of everyone being on the kitchen tour to measure the cabinets and figure out how many donuts they would hold. Then he ran into the kitchen to make an appearance as the doughy creature. He made a quick change really fast, but his big mistake was leaving that notebook behind. So did you figure out the mystery, Velma asks? I bet you did, since my notes in our Clue Keeper were so good, she grins at you. And because I'm smart too, Velma, but thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. Capitalism, always, yes. I only picked him because of the silly bathroom humor. Yes. I still say you get credit. Give yourselves a big cowabunga. Yay! 3 for 3, baby! Always the unexpected one, thanks. Thank God it wasn't the Pop-Tarts. Yeah. Wait, Pop-Tarts? No, just apricot tarts. There you go. KH2 opening is the best. I have heard a little of the KH2 opening. You know, nothing else about the game, but the opening is pretty sweet. Oh my gosh, the guy just wanted to make his own business and wanted the space. What? Yeah. Capitalism. Yeah. It's always capitalism. Should I count another point to the chat since Avery guessed right? I'd say count another point to the chat overall. I got it, and 50% of the chat got it, so I'd say we're still on the right track. I'd say we're still good. Everybody can keep their individual scores if you so feel like it. Oh, Perry, are you finally going to come say hi now that we're right at the end of stream? Chat 3, book 0. Yes. Smart, I mean. I'm thrilled knowing that it's up to you, building and duty, sharing the sun. It's going to be great. I chuckle. The thought process for the villain to wear the monster costume, right? Like, what in your life leads you down that road? When you're wearing, like, donut dough? Yeah. Try to show up earlier for round 4. See you then. Perry! Perry! Perry, you're gonna say hi one time. Let me finish this first, though. I'm sure you solved it fast, Daphne says, but if you didn't, there's always another chance. We're always coming across mysteries to solve. Like, she's right, Shaggy says, but most of them aren't quite as delicious as this one was. He reaches into a big box on the table and pulls out a huge chocolate cake. Scooby said he'd like to share this with everybody. It's the cake Monsieur Pamplemousse baked to thank us for saving his bakery. Shaggy cuts 4 small pieces. Are you allowed to just bring food into another food establishment? Of the cake and passes them around to you, Fred, Daphne, and Velma. Then he cuts the rest of the cake in 2 gigantic pieces. Of course he does. One for him and one for Scooby. Whoop. Perry. Come here, Perry. You're obligated to say hi. Scooby takes a huge bite and then looks up with chocolate icing all over his nose. Ruby, Ruby, Roo, he says happily. And on that cheery note, the book is over. I'm gonna go get Perry. Hang on. Shaggy knows that Scooby shouldn't have chocolate. Oh, never mind. I guess he's fine. Shaggy's a stingy little asshole. I guess so. There is... Yeah, they don't have the meddling kids line in any of these. It's in your contract, Perry. Yeah. Oh, it was the lyrics from the Adventures in the Book of Virtues. I knew it was lyrics from something, but I could not remember exactly what. Book of Virtues. That makes sense. Perry. Come here, Perry. Here, Perry. Come say hi. Yeah. I know. Don't act like you don't like being on camera. We all know you know exactly where cameras are and what they do. And it's weird. New video this weekend. I'm almost done with the video. It's going to be a Goosebumps video, so it'll be out tomorrow. Francis. Aw, that's so cute that you got a tweet. Not a retweet. What am I trying to say? You got a response. I feel like an old person. Whoop. There we go. Full cam. All right. Shanky! Oh, that's not what I meant to press. Hang on. Oh, she's very interested. Hang on. Yes, I know, Perry. Hi, Perry. Everybody wants you to have full cam because they love you so much. Say the line this time. It's always my favorite, but I guess we can't have it all. I know. I wish they would say it at least once. It's my favorite, too. Say hi, Perry. Everybody says hi. Let me move this so you can be seen a little bit better. Don't want to cut into your spotlight. God forbid. What did I miss? Last chapter. So it was Mr. Dewhurst, the donut man. He was trying to run him out of business so that he could have a donut. He could take the... Oh, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? Okay. Fair enough. Bye, Perry. He wanted to take the bakery and make his own, have his own space. Oh, there you are, Perry. Hey, where's Perry? Doobie doobie doo-ba, doobie doobie doo-ba. Bye, Perry. We'll see Perry later. All right. Well, we have finished this book. No guarantees that I'll stream tomorrow, but do you guys want to see what we'll be reading for the next stream? Check this one off. Put this one on the solved shelf. Solved side of the shelf. There we go. Hang on. Now Perry wants to get out. I will let her out. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. How many Scooby Doo books do you have? I have 24, which to the best of my knowledge is all of them. When you go to the, like, wiki, it says, like, items 28, but some of them have to be non-books, because when you're, like, just show me the books, it's only 24. So I think I have all of them. Somebody was just selling, like, a big lot of 24. Oh, we've got Case of the Wandering Witch next. I vaguely remember this one. Let's go to Desk Cam. Yeah, I vaguely remember this one. Doesn't the, like, semi-aquatic egg, doesn't that remind you of the opening to Emperor's New Groove? It's just something about that vibe. Pay more attention next time. Leave this on my report card. I had too many of them. You're fine. I appreciate you being here. It's a big help for the stream and for the channel. I appreciate it. I know my chair needs a name. We named Maddie's. We named her chair Gregory. We need to name my chair something. We're guessing costume. I think costume is a safe bet for this one, but who knows? You never know where we're going with this one. James Gelsey. That's a different credited author than we've had so far. 20 years for Dewhurst and 5 decades for family. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll have to do that soon. And tech for the broom. That's true. Kenny. We'll think of something. Haley. Like with Allison Court in Old Childhood, yeah. And also, what's his name? Who voices Max in Goof Troop and Goofy movie? Why am I blanking on his name? He voices everything too. Hocus Pocus. My books has got to have the meddling kids line. I hope one does. All right, let's see the synopsis for the next one. Scooby Doo and the gang are at the screening of an exciting new movie called The Wandering Witch. They discover that there are people who don't want the movie to come out, and one of them seems to be a real witch. It's up to Scooby Doo and you to solve this mystery before it's too late. Find the clues and suspects, answer the gang's questions, and see if you can solve the case of the Wandering Witch. This is gonna be fun. A witch in an old-fashioned movie theater. I'm excited. Aw, I'm glad to know Allison Court is sweet. She seems like she'd be a sweetheart. But yeah, we've got 3 down, 21 to go. And yeah, I think we can leave it there, guys. Books are just so fun and easy for streams, so I'm having fun. I hope you guys aren't tired of it yet, because we got more of them. Corn for Shaggy and Scooby. Yes, they're going to be all about the popcorn in the next one. Starting to get used to where all my various buttons are. But yes, thank you for hanging out with me for another one, guys. Good night. I hope you all sleep well. I will see you in the next one. I'll have a new video up tomorrow. It's a Goosebumps video, so hopefully everybody will like that. And I will see you guys soon. Good night. I hope the rest of your night goes well. I'm glad you're loving them, Jay. I'm really, really glad. That's my favorite thing about this channel is that, like, things that I used to just kind of see as things that, like, I only had nostalgia for or liked. Now it's like a whole stream of people that are interested, so that's always fun for me. So thank you for that. I appreciate you guys being here. Love the streams. Take care. Take care, too. Thank you for being here, Hannah. Good night, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. See you soon. Oh, I guess I should end this poll. We won the poll. The right guy. The poll, the chat chose the right dude. So I didn't have any girls, like girl suspects in this game. We haven't had a girl culprit yet. Interesting. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Good night. Appreciate you.